Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Yes, you've not woken up in a dream. It's a Wednesday show, so hi. Well, I've had to have a bit of an emergency measure on my old greenhouse here. We've had those high winds recently, and well, because it's very old, it's sort of dislodged a bit of the roof panels. So I thought, well, I wasn't using my old polytunnel, and it was just lying there. So there we are. I've stuck it on for now. When we get some really hot weather, I can look at taking it all apart. But for now, I need the greenhouse because it's time to start sowing seeds, as I've said. And today is two ways, in fact, possibly three ways, we can look at where we can put our seeds. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. Oh, and also, I've got a cuppa. Well, here I am inside the greenhouse again. And it's funny, putting that cover on top of here has really made a difference to the temperature. It's really holding it in, which is rather lovely for, well, for the seedlings that are going to be in here, hopefully, and being developed and grown over the next few weeks. Now, I'm looking at a couple of cheap ways to sow your seeds because I know things are tight at the moment and a lot of people don't have the money to go out and buy trays such as these because, as I said the other day, even at, £3.50 each, it's still quite a stretch. So the simple, beautiful eggs, look at those eggshells. Yes, you can use eggshells to put your soil into and then your seeds into that. Now, what you need to do is, obviously, it doesn't matter how your eggshells break. You can have a large one like that or even smaller ones. So as long as you've got at least half the eggshell ready for your soil to go into. Now, don't panic about the fact there's no holes in the bottom because actually, as long as you don't overwater the eggshells, and the best way to do it is once I've pre-watered this soil that's in these at the moment, and then during the next few weeks, this is going to go actually into a plastic bag, and it may even go onto our windowsill in the house because it'll be a lot warmer there. And then once they start to go, you can take all that off, and you can spray with a spray bottle of water, so there's not too much moisture actually getting into the soil and making the roots rot. Plant our seeds into this. Marvellous. And then when it comes to time when you're getting rid of the seeds into the ground or potting on into a larger pot, then what you can do, you can slightly crush the outside shell. So you get, and the soil will be inside, obviously, crush it. This is going to break apart when I crush it, but it won't do once it's around that. And then it'll just, the roots will automatically come through the soil and be brilliant straight into the ground or into your pots. So I can use that actually. Put that back in there. I've got quite a few now. Also, the other thing about the eggshells is I always put mine in the oven to get rid of any smells, of course, that could attract any rodents or any creatures that love to eat, of course, the eggs inside. So I put mine in the oven. It neutralizes all that. Some people actually do wash them out, but I find them a bit delicate to wash out actually, and we get a lot of breakages if you use soap and water. So how do we do it? Now, I've got some herb compost here, and what I'm going to do, I've marked it. One side is tarragon, the other side is basil, and actually I've marked on these pots as well with a great big T, and on the other ones, of course, I've actually put a big B, so I know which is which, and we can keep an eye on those. Now, let's start with the basil. I've got 6 here, so that means I end up with about 12 plants, but the seeds, of course, as always, are always tiny, and these are the basil ones. Here we go. Look at those. They're a little bit just smaller, and please forgive me for this, than a mouse poo. I know, just going to get you the sizes, and they're the same shape as well. But these are the basil ones. We can have 2 per little seed tray, but here they're so small. It's very difficult actually to see how many I've actually put in. I think there's probably a bit more than that actually, but hopefully they'll come up. I'll use a few more because I've got 6 trays and not 3. That's it. They're nicely in there now. And then, of course, we'll use the tarragon ones. Now, the tarragon ones, I love tarragon. The smell, it's so aromatic. I have got tarragon actually left over from last year. They've been cut back to ground. So fingers crossed, we might get some free tarragon plants. I have noticed that tarragon's pretty difficult to grow actually from seeds, but I'm going to have a go. and we'll keep an eye on these. These are ever so delicate. It's almost a bit like pepper, just really small seeds. It's amazing how tiny they are. And well, I've just about got enough. Now, where did these seeds come from? These are from my advent calendar that I got bought last Christmas that we've all shown you, and it's brilliant. We can use those from that. Now, I'm sowing them now because obviously these are an indoor sowing. If you're looking at sowing any other seeds, we're probably talking March outside if you want to start planting, and that's generally for a lot of seeds. Now, the thing, excuse me, with planting in eggshells is you don't want to put something like a pumpkin or squashes or any plant that grow vigorously. Sunflowers, especially the tall ones, once they start, boom, there won't be enough soil in here to keep those with lots of nutrients. You really do need to start them in pots like these, which I will get onto. Just waiting for my compost to arrive, and for seed sowings. Now, the compost I've actually bought is coconut shell compost. It's supposed to retain water really well, but we'll have a look at that because it doesn't arrive until next week. So hopefully, fingers crossed, in time for the next Wednesday show. It won't be here for the Sunday show, unfortunately. However, so that's them done. All we need to do there is get a bit of soil now and just really gently place it over the top. Not too much, because of course, all their nutrients are in the seeds, and that's how they start germinating. They use all of the energy from the seeds themselves, so that if you put them too deeply down, then they won't come through because they will run out of energy. So there you go. That's all of my seeds done, and they can now, well, either go, you could pop them on top of that tray. If I've got one over here, look, here we go. I'll clean that up, and that could easily just sit on the top of there in here in the greenhouse, but I'm not going to do that because this is going to come into my home. This is a bag, of course, but it had my hay in for the rabbits, and so I can easily take the top part off, actually, which I'm going to do, and then pop this into there, and it will create a mini greenhouse. A brilliant thing. There's moisture already. A little bit of heat on that will make a lovely environment for the seeds to grow in. Now, we're talking here, aren't we, today, about how to save money when you're planting your seeds. Ta-da! You know I love these toilet rolls. That's basically what it is. Look, there you have it. Now, that's quite a tall one. I normally use these for my sunflower seeds because they really like having the tallness of the bud. Now, how do you make them? Very simple. Get a lovely round, and it's the old thing, isn't it? How do you make a round hole fit into a square peg, or a square peg fit into a round hole? One of those. Well, first of all, you flatten it, and then you flatten it again. So you have 4 marks on the side, and then not very much, because you obviously that's, you see that width there from there. Let's come closer. You want to have your folding in, so you don't need very much. And you cut on the corners. Yes, my round toilet roll holder, and then you fold them in, and you go over under. So that's an over under. I've done it too much, and then so that's got to go under. Here we go. It's all right out here in the cold. Over under. Then you've got to work out over under, and then that just fits into there, and there we have it. As simple as that. The kids will love it. Now, if you don't want them that tall, obviously, cut them in half or cut them to your length, because this waste, if you have any waste, can go onto your compost heap, and that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? So that's all we have. 2 excellent little cardboard tubes. I'm not going to plant anything into those yet, but again, all for free, nothing to pay, and I love a good old cardboard tube. Now, in here, this is my free, of course, little propagator. It had muffins in, chocolate muffins, and they were lovely. In fact, chocolate chip muffins. So they were double. Now, these are red salad lettuce leaves, and again, because they're indoor sowing, these can be grown all year round. It's not, even in here, and I will possibly pop them in here, or actually, I might take them at home and pop them onto the windowsill. Here we go. Quite a few here, and again, we just want to sprinkle on top. This is pre-watered. I'm sprinkling quite a few on because it'll come up, and then we can transplant those then into other pots. Pop those back into there. They're brilliant. Quite a lot of seeds you get in those, and interesting that I've always found with the lettuce seeds, they always look quite dry. Some of the others look really, really healthy. And, oops, I can't. They'll go in there eventually. This is not a good way of filming, is it? I'm not trying to get the seeds back on, get them in a line. Here we go, and scrape them up. There you go, back in. And again, these came out of my advent calendar. Generally, if you're planting outside, of course, they need to be in full sun as well. But also, I'd wait till March time when the frosts have vanished. Now, these you just pop on top, look at that. And I'm going to actually put a little bit of herb stuff just sprinkled on top. And they will soon come, because the soil, the herb soil is moist. The soil underneath is moist. Pop that like that, and then close the lid. And there you have it, your own propagator. What's lovely about these is if you've got something like a, let's say a sweet corn or even peas, put them right at the very edge, especially peas, stick them at the edge, because the roots then will come out and the children can see all the roots, and it's fascinating. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Well, there you have it. We have 3 ways of cheaply sowing your seeds. And well, now's the time to get it done and keep these indoors. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. I hope that gives you a little idea of the things you can do for free, basically. I know you've got to buy your soil and your compost, but that's getting cheaper and cheaper. And I can't wait to use the coconut koi soil matting, whatever it's called. And I bought a compacted version, but we'll talk more about that next week. You have to add water to it, and then it'll regrow, and then you can use it whenever you like. It's very good at moisture retention, apparently. Now, when I was outside, before I quickly go, I had to be very, very careful, because isn't nature a wonderful thing? We've had all this cold weather here, lots and lots of rain, but the daffodils are coming and the bluebells are coming. And we know it's spring when those bluebells start to open. So fingers crossed we get some beautiful bluebells here on the allotment in a few months' time. Once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Thank you all for your comments on our last video. It's really, really good of you to mention all of the things you have done. And well, in a few weeks' time, we'll start showing some of your comments that we make here on the show. Sit back and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of today and a fantastic week ahead. Ta-ra for now.